Well, here we go, all my friends out there. Yup, community, you are all over the world, and I am so grateful to you. It truly is when my heart expresses gratitude in regards to you guys and you gals and you kids, because you are making the difference. You are making changes in your own life, and you are impacting those around you. Thank you for making a difference. Thank you for listening. We have fun here together, and I so appreciate you. Hey, yes, if you didn't get the announcement, I do have my website up. It is yup.solutions, not yup.com. It is yup.solutions, and all my episodes are there, and adding stuff all the time. There are links to support me. No, I don't have any products, but I'm working on that to get some products up for that. And so I just appreciate your support. And today, what we're going to talk about is one of my favorite subjects, is how to pass into a new thing. And you're like, what do you mean? It's like trying not to say like, which is one of my favorite words, because it is, if you haven't noticed, Tom's transition word when he's looking to gather his thoughts. No, moving into a new thing, whatever it is, if you want to move into a new season in a relationship, if you want to move into a new career, if you want to move into, a different financial position, whatever it is, how do you do that? When we want to move into a new thing, it's pretty difficult, and it's often overwhelming. How do we do it? How do we get in? How do we even start? And when you begin to think of things, so many of us, myself included, as we're like, oh, that's a nice idea, and then we begin to start fleshing out what it's going to take, it just becomes overwhelming, and we instantly enter this thing called disqualification, because we disqualify ourselves because we can't possibly get all that thing done. We can't even crack the door. How do we do that? And so what I've talked about before is you have to take small steps, but what is the start? How do you start? Well, here's how you start. And this is what we're going to talk about today. And it's called a foothold. How do you get a foothold? And think of a foothold. That's like Tom having some indigestion there from his morning coffee. Sorry. How do you get a foothold? Well, the way that I get a foothold, and especially imagine there's a bunch of doors, and there's a door that I want to go through. And this is maybe the opportunities in your life, or the different things you want to walk into. I first go up to the door and I push on it and see. It's like, wow, is this thing locked, or is the spring just loaded really tight? And most of the doors are they're heavy and they're hard to push open, and so you can't get into it. And so what a foothold is, and what I do, if it opens easily, I walk through it. But if you push on it, it just moves just a tiny bit. And you guys, I have done this practically at work so many times, I can't tell you, but the metaphor works in life too. And this is a powerful metaphor. So I go and I push as hard as I can. If I can get it open enough that I can get my foot in there, I put my foot in there. And you now have a foothold. That door is cracked. That door is not open, but you can begin to see the light. You can begin to see possibly some of the stuff on the other side. And this gives you a moment of break and rest where you can move forward. You're just like, well, Tom, what do I do? Because now that my foot is in the door, I'm stuck. Well, this is true, but you do have that door open. And this is something that I've emphasized, and I'm going to continue to emphasize. And this is the only way that you succeed, is you've got to have help. So you push on that door, you've got the door open. So you call for help. You call someone else, and they come over and they push on the door, and you get a little farther open, but then it falls back on your foot. What do you do then? You've got to strategize, but you've got the door open. And so when the door's open, there's hope, because you have cracked this door. You have got it open. You have got a start, and you can't ever lose that. You never give up your foothold when you're moving into something new. A foothold, that is your place of hope. And sometimes we have to stay there for a while before we have to figure out how to get that door open. And we may try different things. You have your friends in your community around you, and they come and they're trying different things. A bunch of them push, but you still can't get it open. And then somebody's like, oh, I have this big lever here. And so you get it under the door and you're able to leverage it a little more. And then somebody says, oh, I have these shims here, and you're able to slide it under the door. and then you pull the lever out and you leverage the door a little more, and it opens a little more, and then it opens a little more, and then you're finally able to walk into that. Now, we won't talk about this today, but the door is just the beginning of the room. And so getting in the door is a huge deal, but then you walk into that room and you walk into that space, and whatever it is that you're going to do, there is a new understanding, and there's a new learning, and there's a new experience that's going to happen in that room that is outside entry. Today, we are just talking about entry. How do you get into that room? So we physically talked about, and I have used this method time and time again, getting into difficult places, that the spring on the garage door was broken and it was heavier than all get out, big old wood door, and had to just slowly, incrementally work till I could get that door open. Or a big old door with a big old loaded spring that had broken. It's heavy, and you just have to, you push and you barely get in, and you just leverage and leverage and leverage till you get into that space. So first off, we know, and you're just like, this is a no-brainer. You need some determination and you need some drive, because it's going to take resources. It's going to probably take resources, maybe of some tools and some things you're going to have to buy, but it's also going to take resources of friendships and cultivating friendships. And it's going to take resources of your emotional energy. So anytime you walk through a door, or you're going to go into a door that you know is potentially difficult, don't be an idiot, okay? None of you out there are idiots. All of you are awesome out there. And yeah, we haven't done this in a while. And I actually haven't done this in a while. Let's just take a few deep breaths. I've actually been pretty amped up and pretty focused, because I have been doing what I'm talking to you today about. And so let's just take a couple deep breaths. Yeah, that feels good. So when you get ready to go through a door, and I would guess everybody out there, as I'm talking, you know some doors that you would walk through, that you want to walk through. And let's do it. You're gonna walk through those doors. But you need to gather some emotional energy and determination. And as you go there, so you open that door. How do you press on the door? What is pressing on that door like? Well, let's say it's a relationship. You want to develop a relationship with a person. So pressing on that door is connecting with them. Maybe you make the phone call, and they're just like, hey, yeah, I'm interested, but I'm super busy. I don't know when I can get back to you. Keep trying. Okay, you crack the door a little bit. Maybe it is like you want to develop a relationship with somebody of the opposite sex, and you call and they're just like, no, I'm really not interested. I'm not looking for a relationship at this time. Door's still shut. What do? You have to persevere. And so you have to start advertising yourself, and you have to start being creative. And you could maybe do things like show up at work and say, hey, I just really appreciate you. I'd love to get to know you. You drop off a gift card or something. And this may not work out, but if you feel like there's maybe chemistry there, don't be a stalker and don't be a weirdo if they just tell you to get lost. But this is somebody that you think that you could develop a relationship. There is some worthwhile effort going into cracking that door and opening up the door to that relationship. Now, yeah, I'm not giving license to any weirdos or anything out there like that, but just let me tell you an example in my life. When I met my wife, Adrienne, first, we didn't get along at all, and we actually really despised each other. And then there were some weird things that happened. Those of you know that I'm a man of faith, and they were in that woo-woo realm of a man of faith type deal. But anyway, we started to talk and chat, and I started to become more serious and said, I'd really like to pursue this relationship. She was not interested. But we had the foundation there, and there was some interest in the relationship. And no, I didn't stalk her, and no, I didn't call her. I did something that, if you're not a person of faith, you probably don't understand this, but I went without food for a week and prayed and had limited interaction with her. That is a way of opening a door. And those of you that are interested in that, you can catch my other Sanguine podcast. I'm not necessarily going to go there today, but there's more than one way to open that door. And we don't want to use manipulation, and we don't want to use dark psychology. We want to be genuine, but sometimes it takes some persistence. And we live in a world of a lot of con artists. And so sometimes it takes the people around us and the people that we want to have relationships in our lives to see who we are. And we have to work on cracking that door by advertising ourselves in a genuine way, being there, showing up, going the extra mile, demonstrating who we are so we can crack that door, and then the opportunities open up. Maybe it is an opportunity for a relationship that will lead to marriage. Maybe it's an opportunity that will lead to a job. Maybe it's an opportunity that will lead to a partnership. But a foothold is that place where you get your foot in the door, and sometimes there's a lot of effort that goes into that before that door's cracked. And then once you get your foot in there, then there's more effort, and you need to leverage everything that you have as your friends and the different aspects, but it's worth it because you want in that door. Do you get where I'm going with here? You and in our society, and I'm guilty of this as well, we want it all and we want it now, and we don't want to work for it. Well, the good and the great things in life take effort, they take strategy, and they take like methodical movement. And so you realize you're going to put the effort in, you're going to get your foot in the door, and then you're going to move forward. And for some of us, we can't even begin to open those doors till we get the foothold in our mind that believes that we can do that, and that is for us. Tom, what are you talking about? Some of you out there have to work on your thoughts because you need a foothold in your thoughts. You need the belief in your imagination that you are worthy of that door opening, or opening that door. Some of you disqualify yourself. You think that thought, and then you're just like, oh, I can't do that because, whatever. You have to begin to open that door in your thoughts. Your first foothold point in your thoughts is to give yourself permission. You're pressing your own door open, that you give yourself permission to think about a new life, a new opportunity. And then you begin to say, I desire that and I want that. And that's how you open that door. Even our own thoughts can be like a fortress because we're locked in by our experiences and our past that are defining our future. And that is not true. You have to unlock, you have to open that door. You have to get a foothold, and then you systematically, with your words that become phrases that are thoughts, tell yourself, it's like, I deserve this, I want this, I desire this, I am moving into this, I am going to see this coming about. Those words are powerful, and those build belief, and those are the levers that you open that door. And so you also do that when you're moving into opportunities, because opportunities are going to have challenges, and they're going to need words that counteract them. And so when you have a challenge, you're just like, this is worth it. This is what I want in my life. This is my passion. You have to say those to yourselves. You need to hear that more than anybody else. You cannot say, this is the worst thing you can say. This is stupid. No, it is not stupid, because you are an awesome person, and the things that you're going after are awesome. Now, do we sometimes have redirects? We do. But we are not stupid, and we learned on those things that maybe led down a path we didn't want to. But I know for a fact that you have to start down a path to be able to begin to figure out the next steps. And so if you never start, if you never press on that door, you may press on that door and it goes wide open and you have a great opportunity and you don't need a foothold. But that door is shut until you go up to it. And if you don't go up to it, you will never know how much work that opportunity is going to take. Some of the best opportunities, man, they have a heavy door, and it takes work to get through that door. And there are challenges and obstacles and gauntlets and all kinds of things to overcome. But once you get into that door, it is what you've been desiring. It is the land that you want to live in. It is the land of fulfilled dreams and passions. And you look back and you will treasure every step. Some of those things that are hard for us, the journeys that are hard, they become treasure points as we look back and we're just like, oh my gosh, the journey was beautiful. Well, that's not what you said when you were journeying. You're just like, this is beep and this is beep and this is a bunch of beep, beep, right? No, I just encourage you, get the foothold, press on the door. If you don't even go up to it, you don't even know. But it is worth it, my friends. It is worth it. And first, let's just start. I want you to Repeat after me. I give myself permission to move into this door, this desire, this place that I want to be. I want this for me. I am taking the steps to move towards this. I am walking, I am figuring it out, I am getting strategies as I move towards this. I am able and I will be equipped and I will overcome. My friends, those are the first steps. And don't you ever forget how powerful your words are. You believe your words. And even if you don't believe you believe your words, you believe your words. And I know it's too funny, right? But it is true. All this stuff you've got, it makes a difference in your attitude. And it sounds woo-woo, but this is so important to get to where you need to go. So in this door today, get your foot in and start leveraging and opening that door. I want to see what your future holds. Because you know, I've talked about this so much. As you rise and become the person who you are created to be, we all benefit. The people around you benefit. And as you withhold, you are a selfish SOB. I'm sorry. Well, it is true. And yeah, it is true. When you underperform, those people around you are losing out. It is time for you to become a high performer. Stop messing around. Get on with it. Start taking the steps. Yes, it's hard. I know that it's hard, but you can do it. Because why? Because I got you. I do. I got you.